Coach, winter is just around the corner as you get a look at New Era Field just south of Buffalo, New York. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Oakland Raiders and the Buffalo Bills. This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
Let's go. Watch that in. Watch that in. That is right. That is right. Alone. 3 down. Hey, watch 28. That's the way.
First carry for Josh Jacobs. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
We're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. Check to them.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
56, 65, 56.
Now on 2nd and 13. Murray. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Murray with a 3rd and long. Able to find Walter. That's complete. Dashing through the snow. The 20. And he is down deep into Buffalo territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Certainly not what they wanted defensively. We're hoping to hold them to a field goal. Instead, they're able to convert the 3rd and long here on the opening drive.
So not only was it a flip in field position and a flip in fortunes, but how about mentally? You just described it. They were hoping to force him into a field goal there. Instead, they give up the big gain, and now it's 1st and goal. The offense has got them on their heels.
Ready. 70 ending. Shoot. Watch the shoot.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
Come on, set. Put your money. Come on, defense. Keep it up, guys. Whip. Watch the whip. Check.
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal. Murray now, 3rd and goal. And it's intercepted at the goal line. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's into the clear. He's at the 30. And at the end of it, he's stripped. Ball comes loose. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 22, Murray going for the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 35. Taking it right down Broadway. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A big play there. 78 yards. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20.
Go! Send two stop. Go, go.
On first down, Lawrence. This is hauled in by Deontay Burnett. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Watch tight. Tight is right.
Now the first carry for Devin Singletary. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
When you're dead last in the NFL in third down conversions, the odds are against you every time you face it. How about him picking up that one? That was big for them.
On 1st and 10, Lawrence. Got an open man, it's Burnett. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Off play action. Lawrence. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Lawrence. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 35.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? To throw on 2nd down, Lawrence. And he rifles one incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback when he delivers the ball.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That one, 28 yards on the ground.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
Murray now on 1st down. They'll let this go for the end zone. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
It's now 2nd and 10.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3. Hey, check 24. Check 24. You gonna take. You gonna go. You got take right there.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take it across midfield and into Buffalo territory. He'll get 4 yards on the carry there, and we will get to the end of the first quarter play. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Sheldon Rankins able to record his 5th sack of the season. Here's the Raiders punter now as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Lawrence into the hands of the tight end. This is Jordan Thomas. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 16 yards there, and the Bills have a 1st down.
Let's go now. 60 out long. Hey, order. Come on now. Hey, Mike 50, Mike 50. Shoot.
Throwing on 1st down. Lawrence. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Back to throw. Lawrence. He gets it to Thomas. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
All right, T, let's go. All right, T.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 19-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
One play has him to the 37 here for first and 10.
I'm going back to you.
Here's Jacobs on first and 10. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
Now on second and 13. Murray. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, first and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
His throw caught right around the 6. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Two minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Switch. 55,
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
Leads to second and goal. At the
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. Second and goal.
Check 26. Hey, watch it. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be and that is going to be a safety. So give 2 points to the defense. They were in hot pursuit there, and in the end, they force him out of bounds.
You just wondered how he was going to get out of this one, Brandon. We saw him painting himself into a corner, and finally has nowhere to go but out the side of the end zone.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Come on, baby. Let's go. Run it. 50 seconds. Come on. Strip the ball. Strip that ball. Check 52. He's coming. Double up. Double up. He's coming. Double up.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Show it up. Show it up. Hatchet. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. We got double up. Double up.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Let's go, D.
A loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 12.
On 2nd and 12, Murray. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. He's going to go for a big play downfield. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. Here's the Raiders punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like.
On the ready.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people...
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Lawrence. And an alley to run. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
How many times do we hear that 3rd down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the 1st down marker is, dives for it, and gets it. What a big-time play, putting his body on the line to pick up a key 1st down.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Here's the 2nd and 7. Escaping the press and hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Raiders pick it up. The big fella past the 20. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is taken at the 3. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
Here we go, D.
Off the play fake. Lawrence. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Off play action. Lawrence flushed out right. Now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Singletary, they'll run for it. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. From the gun, Lawrence. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. And to give this time to the tailback. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. From 10 yards out, and the Raiders take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
Now, the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Big hold of the 30. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll take this all the way up to the 38-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. Looking long for Thomas. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes his quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
8 read. Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day.
Throwing on third and long. Lawrence. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
That's how we do it.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. This is brought in at the 21. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Hey, tighten down. There you go.
To throw again on second down. Murray, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. They'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Check hot route. Hot block. Watch safety green.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dobbins. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. 2nd down, Murray sets to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now Murray. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Darren Waller, the intended receiver. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. Has a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd.